Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, Standalone Gaming. Today we'll be continuing our adventure on SnowRunner. In the last video, we ran through most of the tutorial, fixed a bridge, and made it to our first garage. Today we'll be starting off by finishing some of the tutorial and exploring Black River. Let's hop into it. So when you first come to the garage and you unlock it, first thing this game wants you to do if you're following this tutorial is go to Alaska. So we're going to go there just to complete the tutorial part of that, because it won't let you leave the garage otherwise. So once you get here, it tells you a little bit more about, Alaska and changing stuff in the garage and all the options you have while at the garage. But simply put, you can change your vehicle, upgrade it, and it basically acts as a service hub. You can repair your truck, get gas, the essentials. So what I'm going to do is go back to Michigan. I don't recommend starting off in Alaska at all. Now I do have some of the DLC, but we're not going to get into that, at least not yet. We're going to be doing Michigan, finishing Black River, going to Smithville Dam, and preferably Drummond Island and Island Lake. So the unfortunate thing about the tutorial is that it makes you go to Alaska. You have to actually go into the garage, follow the tutorial a little bit. Let's say you don't have a vehicle here because you have to transfer it over from your other work garage. And you do that by hitting the buttons on the bottom of the screen here. So when you go, you can see all these are DLC trucks. I'm not going to be using those. I'm going to try to just keep the ones that they give you in the map. At least for now. That might change later on in the game, but for now, I don't want to use them. I want to have a little bit of a challenge. Alright, so let's get back to Michigan. So once we're back, we can go right to the garage, or we can pick one of our vehicles. What I'm going to do is pick the pickup truck, and we're going to go do one of the objectives that's pretty close, and grab a watchtower. Alright, so if you take a quick look at our map, there's a watchtower right here and right here. This one is a little bit difficult to get to. It's basically surrounded by a bog. It's really deep mud. It's hard to get to, especially with just having highway tires. Wouldn't recommend going there. You could do it with one of the other vehicles that we have, but it is very difficult and you might have to winch a lot. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. I believe it's right in this little parking thing right here. I'm going to mark it, and we're going to head on over there. If I remember correctly, this is the same way that we came when we went to the garage in the first place. Get up over here. It's like a nice little trailer park. There'll be an objective there, and it should lead us in the direction of the watchtower. So I'm hoping to get two birds one stone. Get the watchtower and complete this quest, get a decent amount of experience, and then I'll be moving on to one of the other objectives that are on the road. Not an actual contract yet. Now I picked this truck because it's a little bit easier to get to where we're going, because I know it's up on a mountain top. So we get in here. I still got the tutorial popping up. I'm probably going to turn those off eventually. But it says get into the task zone. You can accept the task and get additional information. I already knew that. So show the task. Accept the quest. The quest is called A Place Beyond the Spruces. There's a place in the mountains, not far away, that has the most stunning views. I like to relax up there from time to time. Why don't you take a look? Just try not to destroy everything getting up there. Alright, let's take that. Now, you want to go into your menu and make sure you're actually following or tracking the quest. I suppose you don't really have to, but I think you have to be tracking it to finish it. I know at least in some of the like delivery quests, you have to be tracking it. Now there is a trailer over there. We're not going to worry about that. It's a fuel trailer too. So speaking of which, a little tip: if you see a fuel trailer, you can actually refuel at the trailer. I'll show you on the way back. Alright, so we gotta go up this way. Try to stay on the road. Don't be like me and drive like a jackass. Alright, so the reason we took this pickup is because the road does get a little difficult. The first time I played this through, I did this in the Fleet Star, and let me tell you, it was entertaining. I made it, but you know, it's a little bit harder to squeeze that up this hill here. So we're gonna take the Scout up. Now, what these Scouts are made for is basically exploring all these areas. Oh, looks like we're stuck for a first time. Good time to talk about the winch. Yep, right on time. So when you get stuck, it's not super difficult to get out, but it can be because there's not always a place you can winch to. So what I recommend, there's a quick button for your winch. For my controller, it's the Y button. I'm assuming if it's some other system like PlayStation, it'd be triangle. So you just press that, and as you can see down on the bottom, it says pull winch or release winch. So I'm going to pull it, and I'll pull your whole truck over. Now once you get moving again, you take the winch off, and you're moving again. Simple as that. Sometimes you gotta really work the winch. It's not as simple as just moving yourself. We're not in thick mud or anything like that right now, so it's not super difficult. We're just basically stuck on a hill. So keep that in mind later on. You might have to like use multiple winch points and go through and adjust your winch. Yeah, it can be entertaining, to say the least. Alright, so before we get up there, a little quick tip, right? If you want to, you can actually pick where on your truck you want to winch from, or even a trailer. Okay, so let's say you have a trailer on or anything like that, and your trailer gets stuck or you get caught in a tree or something, you can actually press the up directional button. It'll bring up this menu. You go to attach winch, it'll bring up this menu. Now you see that one that's kind of highlighted there? That's where you'll be attaching to your vehicle. If you have a trailer, there'll be additional attach points on the trailer, but you can attach, say, from here, and then I'll show you everywhere that part of your vehicle can attach to. So if you go through, you can pick any one of these locations and attach it. See how it attached to that? And then you can, you know, pull it normal. But nice little trick. Definitely more advanced tips for like later on in the game when there's deep mud and snow and everything else that, you know, really makes your vehicle struggle. So we're almost at the watchtower now. It was on the way. And then you can see that the other magnifying glass is up on the top of the hill there. So that's where we're going after the watchtower. So like I said, once you pull into the blue marker, you can see how I already got the experience. You know, upgrade location discovered. You find everything just driving into the blue indicator here. But I like pressing the button and checking out the scenes. Nice little overview of the garage there. So we'll keep going. See if we can make it to the top of this hill. I know it is a little tricky right in the very beginning, so we might have to use the winch again, but it's definitely doable. I've done it before. Oh, I gotta drive the right way first. Oof. Like I said, it was much more entertaining to get the Fleet Star up here. You know, longer body, but I'll save you guys the trouble. Alright, so it looks like we're stuck again. We're going to try to, oh, hold ourselves out. Sweet. Alright, so we're almost there. We're looking for the top of this mountain right here. Now, I'm not sure if you can drive this way. Can't really look right now. Not sure if you can drive up that way. I usually just go around. Go up here. There'll be a little bit of an opening on the left. I'm really struggling getting up here. Hopefully you guys don't struggle as much as I am. Alright, so here's the opening on the left. Alright, so I'd recommend, you know, going slow at first. I wouldn't go straight over because you'll flip your truck like I almost did there. Another cool trick, before I flip myself, right, you can actually winch to a tree or something like that, and that should stop you from flipping your vehicle over. Hopefully. I mean, looks like I'm failing pretty hard right now. Alright, so let's try to get up here. I want to try to get my body straight as possible before I start this uphill climb. I don't want to, if I try to go sideways or something like that, this truck will definitely roll. We don't want to do that. So, like I said, we'll be using the winch a lot trying to get up here. It might be an easier way to do this, but this is the way I found to do it. It seems to work, so. Now you can always put yourself in low gear. You might get a little bit more traction. In fact, let's do that. Nope, we're still not moving. So, you know, you can get stuck on these bushes and stuff too. Like, they do make it a little bit more challenging than just driving in a straight line. But luckily you got the winch. The winch makes everything a whole lot smoother. So after struggling for a little bit, you'll find your way up to the top here. Now the reason I do both of these is because these are the really only two things that are over here. So once you get done with both of these, instead of going all the way back down and having to come all the way back up, you can just go right to your recover. Go back to the garage. Like I said in the last episode, it's always free. It'll restore your fuel, repairs anything that's wrong with your truck, and so on and so forth. So before we head out, I am going to show you a little bit about the customization. So you go to select your vehicle, and you got customize there. And you have a bunch of choices. I mean, most of them are going to be locked in the very beginning. You can see the little lock. Once you start finding the stuff, you know, you'll be able to use it, you know. So I wouldn't really recommend buying anything. I think you did get all-wheel drive. Yes, you did get the upgrade for all-wheel drive as soon as you found this truck. It was literally right in front of it in the last episode. And I'm going to change the color real quick because, let's be honest, I don't like yellow all that much. Alright, so I'm going to leave the garage. We're going to try to find some more objectives. I'm not going to hop right into a contract right away. I am going to look to complete some of the things on the roadway. The reason I want to do this is because it'll make it easier once we do start doing contracts to get from A to B. If you don't do these first, you'll have to take dirt roads to get pretty much everywhere. And even if you take the main road, there is still dirt, but it's not like deep mud. If you go through the side, like the side paths, like over here or something like that, I mean, it's not as muddy there, but if you take the side paths, they tend to be more muddy and much harder to get through. So So you can see we're not even in all-wheel drive, and this truck is kind of struggling, but it's not stuck. The Fleet Star is going to be one of your vehicles of choice up until you can afford another vehicle. One of the ones I use a lot is the International. It's an off-road vehicle. It seems to be able to move fairly quickly in almost any terrain other than super deep mud or snow. Also depending on your tires. But stock, it's very good at moving pretty much anything. But until then, we're going to be stuck with the Fleet Star. I might be using some of the other vehicles up until then. At some point, I'll probably end up selling off like the highway truck and maybe even the Scout. I believe you find a Scout later that's a little bit better. We'll get into that when the time arrives. But for now, so if you look, this is where the bridge we repaired in the last episode. What we're going to do now is make this left. Well, it's a right compared to where I was, but a left from coming from the bridge. So you can see there's something down in the road over here. You're going to get over here, it's going to say road blocked, and it gives you a little side contract or quest. Show task. It's kind of like the bridge, you know? The bridge wasn't there, you had to repair the bridge before you could get further into the map. So that's basically what this is. There's a few of these throughout this map, there's a few throughout pretty much every map. So unlocking these and doing the watchtowers will probably be like your best bet in the very beginning. You could probably get both done at the same time, you know. You got to travel to go to the watchtowers, and you also got to clear the road in order to travel. So once you get both those done, it becomes a lot easier to get your cargo and other things. Eventually you'll be carrying huge trailers and stuff like that, and they're not easy to get through the mud at all. So the more you unlock the main road, the better. So we'll start tracking this. They need metal beams, 1 metal beams, and concrete blocks. So metal beams were back at the town storage, but I also know that there are metal beams actually at our garage here. So we're going to go back to our garage, pick up those metal beams, and then we'll go get the concrete blocks. So I'm just going to back up. The only downside to having these small roads is you don't have a lot of room to turn around, especially in a big rig like this. And if you hit something, it hurts your vehicle. Now your vehicle's not going to give up on you right away. It's okay to hit some things, but you want to be able to avoid that if you can. Don't be like me. So if I planned ahead, you would see that I could have picked up those metal beams right away as soon as I got out of the garage. But yeah, I wanted to get there and show you how to get there. And, I don't want to do everything ahead of time. So we're going to head back, grab the metal beams, so we can get through the mud. Now I'm fairly certain this truck can make it through that little bog over there, and I might try that before the end of the episode, but we'll see. We'll get this bridge part, power line fixed first. Got my mind on that bridge. Most of this game is driving from A to B and just overcoming the obstacles in your way. Every time you get to a new area or a new map or something like that. Something else shows up, or you have to go up a huge hill or a huge incline, and something else has to change. And you got to, formulate a strategy on how to accomplish the task. It's not too hard, but it's one of the reasons I like this game. It's, fun, but it's not overly complicated. It's nice to relax to. So as you can see, this one's already preloaded with the metal beams, so I can just back right into it. With this truck, you want to make sure it's a little bit over, and then you go to attach trailer in your up directional menu. It'll automatically attach, close the menu, drive right back to where you were. Now, it's not always going to be already loaded on a trailer for you. Sometimes it will be, sometimes it won't. It really depends on the map. Sometimes you'll have to drive all the way back to a place more than once. For example, I know there's a logging mission later where you got to drive back and forth, like, I think it's like 8 or 9 times. Can get a little bit repetitive. When it comes to those, I'll do like 3 here and there, and then I'll just move on to another mission and come back to it. Now, once you can see that the weight of the trailer is making it a lot harder for this truck to get through. So, since I haven't been using the 4-wheel drive, I'm going to turn it on now, and hopefully that's enough. But you can see how the mud can easily slow down your travel time. As I discussed in my previous video, that's why I took the pickup truck all the way to the garage. Yes, it was a little bit further away, but the other truck is not very good in this kind of mud. Would it have made it? Most likely. It just would have taken longer. Kind of like this, how it's just dragging along. You could put it into low gear and put the diff lock on, but I feel like we'd be traveling about the same speed, in all honesty. So, since we're still moving, I'm just going to leave it in all-wheel drive and automatic. You can speed it up a little bit. Every time you get close to one of these telephone poles, you can actually put your winch on. Or sometimes I'll even drive off like the side of the road here. Sometimes you can get a little bit better of a grip. Not always. As you can see, you can attach to the pole there, winch yourself forward a little bit. Especially when you're getting stuck, you don't want to be far from a winch point. So you can see he's struggling a whole lot more now. So we're going to drop it into the low, put the diff lock on. As I'm going to show you later, we're going to end up having to go through side roads to get the concrete blocks. And I'm pretty sure they take 2 apiece also. So I might also attach a flatbed to the chassis of this Fleet Star, and then go see if I can pick up both. And it's going to be a slow ride from there. Let me tell you, you're going to have two concrete slabs. We're carrying twice as much weight, pretty much, as what we're doing now. Even though these are metal beams, 2 concrete slabs will probably weigh just as much, if not more. See, once you get to the road, it's not so bad. But since we only have highway tires right now, it becomes much more difficult in the mud. And I think the first time you unlock new tires is like rank 4, I believe. And I think that's all-terrain. If not, it's level 6. And you can see how it becomes more and more difficult, because it's not easy getting to level 6, especially when you're struggling this much just to clear the roadway. So the very beginning of the game is probably the slowest, but once you get off-road tires and you start getting things moving and you have all these other things unlocked, it becomes much easier to do a lot of the missions and everything. You can pretty much drive in through things and not even worry sometimes. So you can see this guy's even stuck in low, but we're going to put the diff lock on. See right there. Vehicle is diff lock capable, or differential lock capable. In most cases, it will require switching to a low gear to be activated. This differential type locks your wheels together on an axle, forcing them to turn in unison, regardless of traction or grip, helping you travel across any difficult terrain type. Some vehicles are equipped with an always active diff lock, providing you with the ability to use it while automatic shifting is active. However, this vehicle is not. You can only use that in low gear with this truck. I personally like being able to switch it on and off. I don't think diff lock increases your gas consumption, but I know for a fact all-wheel drive does. So keep that in mind, especially if you have a long trip. You should be turning your all-wheel drive off on the roads. You know, you could probably leave it on for the mud, but even when you get better tires later, you can turn it off and just try to power your way through the mud too. You'll save a little bit of gas, especially on longer trips. But with some of the tricks I showed you or told you about earlier with the trailer, you can actually refuel pretty much any refueling trailer. It'll be free. And there's also another tip I'll be sharing later that will help pretty much any position you're near at a place you can buy trailers at. Because the thing about the trailers in this game is they all cost the same amount of money. So even if since I got this trailer for free, I can still sell this one. And you can sell any trailer that you find. Now, you don't have to do that, and I probably wouldn't recommend doing that. I like having them out and spread out a little bit. But I will recommend is that you could buy a fuel trailer at any of the locations that you can buy a trailer. And then what you can do is sell that trailer right back, and it'll be the same amount of money. You'll get the same amount of money back. You'll refuel all your fuel for free, and you can just, go on your merry way. Don't spend no money, because once you sell the trailer back, it gives you all the money back. It doesn't take away for the fuel or anything like that. So you can essentially refuel for free at any gas station, any garage, and any trailer station, because you can buy the fueling trailers right off the get-go. It's a nice little tip right there for you. So we're going to try to make our way back. Now we got to go and get concrete blocks. Now this one should be a fun journey. Let me tell you, we're going to get stuck a few times. We don't even have the metal beams on there now. We're getting stuck. This game does get a little tedious sometimes, especially when you're doing like a second playthrough or whatever. You feel like you're doing a lot of the same stuff. The first game playthrough I had, I had a little bit more enjoyable. But I'm still enjoying this game, and I didn't do too much in it. So once I get to that point, I'm going to be super stoked to share that with you guys. I'm going to have to drop to low gear, put the diff lock on. Still going super slow. See, when you reach areas like this where if I winch to any of these, it'll be behind me, it becomes more of a hassle. You need the winch spot to be in front of you to pull you forward. If there's no winch spot in front of you, you can attach these small trees, but it usually won't be enough to pull your truck. You'll actually rip the tree right out. Good thing about these telephone poles, though, is they're one of the only things that won't rip out of the ground. Usually the bigger trees won't either, but there has been times where they come crashing down. Now once you get back to the road, switch it back to automatic. Like I said, you could turn the all-wheel drive off on the road, but we're not going super far. Once we get past the garage, because we gotta drive past the garage, I'll show you that little tip and trick with the trailers. Alright, so you can see he's slowing down in the mud again, so let's put the all-wheel drive back on. So as you can see, your tires really aren't very good for this kind of thing. But the whole map is basically like this. And yeah, I mean, in the very beginning it's very slow. Slow to progress. You know, you're just kind of holding the button and hoping for the best here. But once you start getting further, you start unlocking parts. It becomes a lot more fun. You can just go charging through some of these areas, even with a trailer, even with a bigger trailer. But yeah, since you got the starter vehicles and stuff, it's very difficult to travel through some of these locations. I really hope you guys can't hear that, but outside the neighbor's freaking mowing his lawn right now. Guess I'll see when I play it back through, but I really hope not. Alright, so now that we're here, detach this trailer. So here's what I'm going to show you, right? You drive up to the trailer store. You go to buying a fuel carrier, right? You can see it says $4,900 bucks. Go ahead and buy it. It's already attached to my vehicle, right? You bring up that up directional button menu again, and you'll see down here it says refuel. Now you can actually take some of that fuel from the trailer, put it into your truck. Now my truck is full of fuel for free. I mean, you could just drive into the garage, at least at this location, but I wanted to show you this little tip because there are places that there's a trailer store and no garage, or no gas station. But when you go to sell it back, see right there, still $4,900 bucks. So if you see my money, it's still at $5,000. I got my money back. No trailer, but still full of fuel. Neat little trick there. We'll need this trailer again. Oh, you know what? We also need the flatbed. So we're gonna hop back into the garage real quick so we can see if we can do this in one trip. Right? You want to customize. Now any of the frame add-ons are gonna be in the frame add-on location. We're gonna look for, you can either get the flatbed, has 2 spots, or the sideboard bed. You can see the flatbed's a little bit cheaper. So I'm gonna go with the flatbed for now. But either one of those both have 2 slots, which means you can carry either 2 single things or 1 double thing, because some things take 2 slots. We'll leave, take the handbrake off, let's go pick up that trailer. Trailer. So now you get to see one of the more fun spots to travel through. And by fun, I mean not fun at all. Especially in the beginning parts of the game, this little area over here is super saturated. You'll see very shortly it's right over on this road over here. And, you know, the first time I drove through here, I think I got stuck. So we'll see if we can make it this time. And we'll go from there. If not, I might have to recover. But we'll see. I'm really hoping I can make it for you guys. So you can see it's getting really deep already right there. What I like to do is try to cut close to this pole here. Look at all that water. Look at how messy that is, right? So I try to cut close to that pole, and then I'll go by this rock. You can see it's not as wet over here. Now you can still get stuck, and it's probably gonna happen. Oof. But I feel like it's way easier than driving straight through all that. Now there are little spots you can winch to, you know, but it's not always gonna work either. So, you know, you just kind of hope for the best. But we do have to go this way to get to concrete slabs. Let's try to put it in low gear, see if that'll help us. And no difference really. Usually what I've noticed is if you get stuck, you're stuck in almost any gear. It doesn't really matter if you're in low or... I mean, there are times where you can get out in low, but diff lock definitely helps. I've seen noticeable differences when you can turn that on and off, and you know, you'll get out of a location. So like I said before, the triangle or the Y button is the quick button for the winch. It'll be your best friend throughout this gameplay, I'm sure. So get used to using it. Might have gotten stuck. Oh, there we go. Pop loose. So another reason I like to go to the right there is you can clearly see there's a few more things you can winch onto. That's not always guaranteed to help you. Like, sometimes you can run into them and get stuck that way. You know. Yeah, the first few times I drove through this, I got stuck, so... I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if everyone does. I'm sure you could take a long way, but... I mean... That just sounds terrible, doesn't it? A long way? I mean, as you can see, those small ones just rip right out of the ground there. Even that big one just ripped right out. Now, if you didn't have the trailer on, you'd probably be able to make it through here with no problems. But I want to see if I can get it done in one trip. This game does have a co-op mode, but I'm not really interested in playing multiplayer right now. Maybe if there's more interest in it, I'll get into it. But as of right now, I'm kind of enjoying the solo play. You know, we might have to ditch this trailer. We'll see. We'll see. You know, we do have the flatbed. It means we'll have to take 2 trips, but yeah, we're gonna ditch this trailer. Back up a little bit. Ditch this trailer right there. Yep, good enough for me. Now let's see if we can get through here. As you can see, even just taking the trailer off, it's much easier to get through some of these locations. I was really hoping to be able to do it in one trip, but you know, it's the beginning of the game. Can't expect too much. There are other quick contracts that I can do at this time, but it's kind of, you're going to end up having to do this anyway at some point, and you're not going to have a high enough level to get any new tires or anything like that, so you're still going to have to face this trouble later, so you might as well get it done early. It makes later stages of this map easier. So you can see without the trailer, we can really get through some of this tougher stuff. It's not as bad as that, you know, water location back there, the super deep mud and stuff. It's not that bad. Even without the trailer, we probably would have struggled there. But, you know, without the trailer, we're definitely moving through this stuff better. We'll just have to take 2 trips. That's alright. So you can see right there, we're at the warehouse. Now the cool thing about the warehouse is it has multiple items. There's bricks, concrete slabs, and I think they also have metal beams. We'll take a quick look when we get here. They do have a trailer right there, but as you can see, we struggled getting it through. You know, the power line is all the way over here. So, yeah, I think we'll just take 2 trips. It's unfortunate, but since it's so early in the game, I feel like that's going to be our better scenario. We'll get stuck less. Even if we brought the trailer with the metal beams, it's going to end up getting stuck, and it'll be sitting in the mud. So, we're going to be better off just using a flatbed for now. So like I said, there's bricks, concrete blocks, and service parts, and metal beams. Okay, so there's 4 items here, which is even better. So if you know you need these for your objectives later, just keep in mind that all these are here. So the cool thing is about concrete blocks, is I didn't know they were only 1 slot. For some reason I thought they were 2, so we can get both of them done. With that being said though, we're going to stop here for today, and thank you for having me, and thanks for giving me your time, and we'll pick up here on the next episode. Thank you very much.